Hi guys, welcome back. This is Crystal with Emerson Aurora Design, and today I'm going to show you how I made this Rock and Roll Girl Tumbler using Koala brand water slide paper, and you can use this code on their website to receive 12% off your order. Koala reached out to me and wanted me to try their new no need to spray water slide decal paper for inkjet and laser printers. This is white water slide paper, and I've never tried white water slide paper before, so I wanted to go ahead and give this a try. So I base painted my tumbler here. This is a 20-ounce straight from Stainless Steel Depot, and I base painted it white. There's really no need to, because this is white water slide, which means that it is not see-through at all. I went ahead and printed out this cute SVG that I found on Etsy. I'll leave a link to the shop in the description box below. So I did not spray this or seal this in any way because it does say that there's no need to. So I just cut out my image here, and I'm going to put it into this pan of lukewarm water. You can use just room temperature water. You don't want to use too cold or too hot. And I'm just going to soak my image here to get the water slide to peel up from the backing. I should have probably used a little bit bigger of a pan, because as you can see, my image is just a tiny bit too tall for this pan, but that's okay. You just want to soak it really well until the image will start to kind of peel off the backing. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever used white water slide, and I wanted to give this a try. I'm just kind of dipping my hand in the water and dispersing some water along that spray painted tumbler. And I figured go big or go home. I'm doing a complete wrap on this tumbler with the water slide. You know, it has a challenge in itself doing a complete wrap with water slide, but actually I'm really pleasantly surprised with this water slide paper. It held up really well. It printed nicely. I do have an inkjet printer, an Epson EcoTank, and there was no cracking in the black ink like other water slides I've used, so I was really happy with that. I didn't have any cracking. It printed nicely, and it surprisingly came off the backing fairly smoothly. I'm just going along here, lining up my image as straight as I can get it, and just slowly peeling that back, letting it slide off the backing, and kind of brushing the air bubbles out from under it as I go. Now, as you can see, I am manipulating this water slide paper. It's a little bit on the thicker side, which makes it easier to use, makes it easier to lay down flat without tearing, which is very important. And because this image is fairly seamless, you know, they line up nicely so you can't even see where the edge is. I'm just dipping my finger in the water and just running it along from the middle out to the top and middle out to the bottom to get any watered air bubbles out. You don't want any water to be trapped underneath your water slide. And I'm just making sure that my image is exactly where I want it. So as you can see, it still has a little bit of working time as long as it stays wet. And now I'm using my little silicone squeegee here to get more water out from underneath. And sometimes on other water slide paper that I've used, some of the color would come off even after spraying, but you can see in the water there's no color coming off, and you would see it because it's black. I'm just squeegeeing that off, getting those bubbles out, and there is absolutely no ink transferring or washing off from this. So I'm actually surprised. I'm really happy with this. I hate spraying my water slides. I feel like they still, no matter how many times I spray them with clear spray paint, it still does lose some color when I apply my water slide. So I'm really happy with this. So I am going to let this dry completely. I actually let this dry overnight, I believe. But as long as you allow it to dry completely and there's no water trapped underneath, you could go ahead in with your epoxy. So I'm just lining it up again, and I'm going to take a little bit of paper towel here and continue to pat that down and push out any bubbles that I might see. If you do have some bubbles that are stubborn, you can take an X-Acto knife and just kind of poke it and squeegee the water out from underneath that bubble. So I'm going to let that dry. It's nice and dry now. You can see that the color is still great. I'm going to take some black alcohol ink and I want to paint the bottom of the tumbler black to match that image better, and I'm going to go around the top rim also. So this first black alcohol ink I used was not the greatest, as you can see, so I went back in with some more pigmented alcohol ink that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to try to cover that bottom. You can use acrylic paint, you can use spray paint. I'm just going to use alcohol ink to cover that bottom. And I used about probably 2 layers of the alcohol ink to get a good coverage. I'm just kind of blending it. Since it is white water slide, there you will see the white edge from the side of the image. You can kind of tell there at the top. So I just wanted that to blend more seamlessly. I didn't want a white edge. I wanted the black to match those cassette tapes. And once the alcohol ink dries, I'm going to go ahead and put this on my turner. Now, I didn't record the epoxy process, but I got this portion. In my epoxy, I am going to go ahead and add some of this highly reflective glitter. You can see it there. Very sparkly, just gives a hint of glitter to my tumbler, and I'm going to add that into my epoxy. So a couple days later, you could see where just a little bit of sparkle to my tumbler. You know, I can't get away doing a tumbler without a little sparkle. And here is my little decal I made, Rock and Roll Girl. I thought it fit well with this cassette tape of classic rock. These are bands from the rock bands from the 70s and 80s. I love classic rock. I'm really into classic rock, and I've been listening to that all summer so far. That's why I love this image so much. So I'm just looking for a spot to put my decal. I didn't include me cutting or piecing this decal out. I did design this one myself on Cricut Design Space. I just chose the different images that they had available on Cricut Design Space and pieced them together to make the feathers, the wings I should say, in the guitar. I didn't record it because honestly I was arguing with my Cricut machine for a while, so I didn't feel like doing that. Anyway, I'm just lining this up. I'm going to do the hinge method the best I can to try to get this nice and straight. I know it's out of frame, but it's the best way for me to be able to do this. I'm just going to hinge this on, try to keep the bubbles out as much as I can. As I go, just press that down firmly on my tumbler. This is metallic vinyl, metallic and glitter vinyl, so I don't want any bubbles trapped underneath because you will be able to see it. You will definitely be able to see, especially with that metallic vinyl. It's not very forgiving, but it's really pretty and flashy. There's my decal. So I'm going to seal this decal down with my 2x Rust-Oleum matte clear spray so that None of the vinyl peels up, and then I put about 2 layers of epoxy to finish my tumbler, and here she is. I love this tumbler. I love the design. And you know what, guys? I really like the Koala brand white water slide. You don't have to spray it. I think it's worth the money. It's really cheap, actually. It's around $7. Plus, if you use my code, which I will have at the end of the video here, and it's also at the beginning of my video, and I'll put it in the description box below, you will get 12% off to give this a try. And I think it is worth it, guys. It is easy to work with. I really enjoyed doing this full wrap. You could do a half wrap with it, or you can just cut out certain elements and put it on your tumbler. I hope you learned something new today. Thank you so much for watching my video. Leave a comment in the description box below or a question. I'll get back with you. And here is that code again, EAD 2022. Thank you so much, guys. Happy crafting!